Welcome to Success Through Meditation. I'm Shakti, coming to you from a lineage of enlightenment to help you to see, honor, and love the light within yourself so that you can see, honor, and love the light within others. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So yes, psychic self-defense. This subject for me came about because of a friend and his experience. Bottom line, what happened was that a friend of mine needed to go into a bureaucratic um, environment, and where he needed to get some things done. So this is why we're talking about psychic self-defense today. There are always going to be those situations that need a little more awareness. We have tools. We are warriors on this path. So we have abilities, we have tools that we can use. The main one, of course, being meditation. We meditate so that we can acquire these tools, so that we can use these tools. That is the tool. That is the tool, and we work to make sure that our lives flow in an easier way because using these tools, right? So the end result of him having to go into this environment was that he felt very drained. He felt that they were abusive, that they were that this experience took his energy. It drained him in several ways that he described to me. So we have things that we can do. And before I get into that, the main objective here is to talk about meditation and how it empowers you to understand that meditating is a beautiful thing. Yes, it calms the mind. Yes, it makes you look at the world in a much happier way. It does all of that. But one of the things that it also does is level up your psychic ability. It also makes us much more sensitive to what happens in the world, to these environments that we go into that can knock us down when we're not prepared. But again, what was the first thing I said? That we are warriors on this path. That is to say that we don't get knocked down easily. We learn. We learn from the things that happen to us, right? And so that's what this is about today. To hopefully help point you in a way that will prevent this kind of thing from happening when you're out and about working in the world. So there are definitely things that we can do, and in talking about psychic self-defense, meditation is key. Meditation is the first order of business. We gather power when we meditate. Our perceptions, our abilities, our psychic abilities are empowered when we meditate. Our natural state is very happy. It's a very happy psychic state. This is our natural state. What happens, however, is that we are given these rules and regulations growing up, and they sink in, don't they? Children, they get them young, right? They got us young, and we soaked it all in. We took in all of these rules and regulations that we were given without knowing the consequences. And they were by well-meaning people, of course, these rules that we received. But these people were most likely, unless you were raised by enlightened beings, they were also suffering. So they imparted their suffering onto you, to me, to all of us. That's just kind of how it works, isn't it? So our natural state is happy, strong, and at peace. But life is a state of mind, isn't it? No matter where you are. If you're happy, only you make it so. You are the one that's in control of your happiness. Energy moves within us, without us, outside of us, and we are very impacted as psychic beings by others' energies. And especially if others seek to impact our energies, that's when our psychic defense comes into play. Maintaining a powerful, aware mind is crucial to not having interference from others on our planet. When others get you to a certain emotional place because of something that they've done when you're out and about in the world, or especially by someone that you love, someone who is very close to you, they have an easier way to do this, to impact how we feel, to impact our emotions. But enlightened beings differ. They want nothing to do but to teach you how to be free. They're not wanting to impact your state other than hoping to point in the right direction so that you can be free, so that you can be free of all of these constrictions that life, that loves have given you. So trusting them is an okay thing to do, unless, of course, you don't, in which case you need to move along, right? There are many charlatans in our world, to be sure. Guru types that are that may be pointing in a direction that you might not want to go. And so we look for teachers who can point us in a direction that will free us. That's the point, to become more free. Manipulating is not so difficult at all when someone gets your attention, whether it's sexual, whether it's fear, or love. Sometimes there are those who seek to hurt or injure us. Or even if they don't seek to do it, they simply are who they are, and they do injure. They cause injury to sensitive, caring beings. Enlightened beings manipulate to empower you, to teach you how to be free. That's the bottom line. To awaken you. That is what you're looking for, isn't it? To awaken you from the sleep. But it does create a vulnerability unless you follow the teachings that are not mine, that are not anyone's. They have been here since time immemorial, and they are mostly secret teachings because we aren't ready to hear them. They really aren't so secret, other than that there is a readiness that is had to being able to hear the teachings of the ancients, really. And these teachings empower you. They don't take your power away. They teach you how to be free by empowering you, by telling you to read, by telling you to listen. When you wake up drained, sometimes, when you wake up after having a day before that was draining, or maybe your sleep, when you wake up drained, you want to meditate to see if somehow you may have been interfered with. Meditation clears the mind, clears the emotions, and empowers you to be able to see, to have more psychic ability, so that you can see whether the car is a lemon or not. So you can see whether this is truly your beautiful wife, your beautiful husband. You're able to see using the psychic ability that you have gained over the years, and are now able to trust yourself. In the beginning, I think one needs to be very careful in the beginning when one starts to meditate. You're starting on a path to freedom. You're starting on a path to becoming more and more powerful, to be able to see more psychically, to be able to see without using the eyes, by using your heart. This is seeing, this is true seeing. I mean, Christ trusted his 12, and one betrayed him, and then he died. It is so important to be able to hone your skill. Of course, we know from reading that he chose this. This was his choice. But meditation involves taking your thoughts and manipulating them so that you can see differently. There are ways physically of seeing whether or not you are being drained, whether or not you are empowering yourself on a daily basis, whether or not others may be taking your energy, taking your power. There are ways of seeing this. If your skin doesn't look so well, if your hair is falling out, or these are things that at times can mean that you are being drained. And I'm not talking about the normal hormonal changes in life. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about things that happen to you because of stresses that are being forced on you, that you are inadequately responding to. With meditation, you gain the power to adequately respond so that you don't lose the energy and the power when you go into these situations where, many times someone who's given a little bit of power, I mean, you can see quite egregiously in our country right now how it is being abused, the power. Someone who's given a little power is able to kill another human. And so we must be careful when going into these situations. Psychically, you need to know whether you should go into a particular situation. Psychically, you can gain the ability to see so that not to buy that lemon, that car. Don't get that car. Yes, it looks bright and shiny and beautiful on the outside, but you can feel psychically that it's a lemon. I don't know, that's a term we use here in the States. It means that the car is not very good, a lemon. I don't know if it's used internationally, but anyway, you understand. You're able to see these things. Remember that we are warriors on this path. We have the tools, we have the psychic perceptions to be able to see which way to go. To be able to see, should I go down to the right? Should I go to the left? Should I go straight? Should I turn around and go the other way? But there are times when you need to go into an environment, a bureaucratic or otherwise environment, going into a lion's den, when your psychic abilities, your warrior state must be intact. This doesn't mean that you carry a stance of, I'm going to fight you. No, that's not what it means at all. What it really means is that the light that you are encased in will simply deflect all negative things, all negative words, all negative energies. They will deflect. They will be forwarded in another way, another direction, to not be able to enter you. But this takes study, it takes practice, it takes work. The work of meditation. It's a funny thing to say. Such a beautiful, wonderful time of your day to meditate, to empower yourself, knowing that freedom is just around the corner. As your meditations increase, as you meditate more and more deeply every day, your abilities, your psychic abilities, are enhanced, are empowered. And this is important, again, when you're going into a lion's den. Very important. So you have to be prepared. We have to be able to direct our observations with our psychic abilities, not with our eyes. These can be faulty. Our observations can be faulty, where our psychic abilities will lead us more clearly. We need to be prepared when we enter the lion's den. We need to be aware. We need to be meditating. I would recommend that before you do something like this, you meditate. Strengthen yourself. Encase yourself in light. Surround yourself in light. You'd be amazed at what this can possibly do. I've had many experiences in my life, once learning from my teacher, where I would be standing in front of someone who could or had the ability to cause me harm in one way or another. Whether it's financially, whether it's with the law, whether it's with someone who is simply going to either cause a more harmful situation in my life or enhance a situation in my life. And what I learned to do, here's just one little trick, and we're going to move on into meditating in just a moment, but when you direct your light at a person who has some sort of an influence on what might happen to you in the next 5 minutes or the next 5 years, direct your light directly at that person. Fill them with light. Of course, that means that you yourself are very aware of your own light, that you are empowered from the meditation that you had in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, that you are empowered because of your meditations. So you are directing your light. And so what I have done many times in life is I directed light toward a person, and I watched as their demeanor, as their own light came up, their own energy came up. And I do this, I have done this, not with the hope of getting a certain outcome. No. We want the outcome that is best for the good of all concerned. And so we direct light knowing that eternity takes the reins. That we are the captain of our own ship, and that we have then taken the winds of eternity and put them in control with our light. And you can watch as this turns around in someone in front of you, someone you may need help from. When we push our light, when we direct our light in a certain direction, the way I've asked you to do about our brothers and sisters in Minnesota in this time, during meditations, please. Your meditation makes a difference. Where people are suffering, you can help by directing your light, by directing your energy, by directing your love in a particular direction. So we have to be aware of these things this moment. That's just one tiny tool. But we need to be aware in that moment that light is the key. And where does this light come into play? In our meditations. We become more and more aware of life in general, but particularly about who you are, the light that you hold within. We become more and more aware of this light. And it comes to the point where you don't think about it. It comes to the point that it's simply what you do. Without consciously directing light, you don't need to after a while, after a long while, lifetimes. But in the meantime, take the conscious direction to bring light to a situation that otherwise could become very dark and truly influence and possibly harm you. Be aware. Know what direction to go. Know what direction to head into. And there are much more efficient, accurate methods of seeing and knowing reality than using your eyes. Much more efficient, because you're able to see beyond the surface. This only sees what? A 180-degree view. And if you're not psychic, you're not able to feel, you're not able to sense what a rose feels like, what a person feels like, what a dove, a tree, a helpful or non-helpful being or situation. You're not able to feel these things when your psychic ability is diminished. So we empower ourselves, we up our psychic abilities by meditating to see beyond the surface, to control your emotions. Your emotions either can empower you or debilitate you. This is an important idea to understand. When our emotions are in a negative state, we are very vulnerable to any more negativity in the world, in an environment that we might go into. When our emotions are in a negative state, or when our emotions are in a powerful, uplifted, positive state, we are empowered. We have more ability. We have more psychic ability. Happiness, simply being happy, increases your psychic ability. Amazing, isn't it? When you are in a more positive state, you are at the helm of your ship. You get where you're wanting to go. You're not being blown by the winds of time here and there. No, you are at the helm of your ship. So there are three things that you can do. Three very clear, unmistakable things that you can do to empower yourself, to up your psychic ability, to defend yourself psychically. The first is to build a shield between you and the descriptions of the world that you've been given. We need to grow a buffer through the practice of meditation. This is how we do it. Grow a buffer between you and what everyone else in the world believes and thinks, what most people believe and think. You need to grow a buffer, and you do this through the practice of meditation. It comes very naturally. Nothing that you need to focus on other than focusing when you meditate. Focusing on the chakras, on the horizon, on a deity, on your teacher, on the beauty of existence, a flower, a candle flame, music that empowers you. Grow a buffer. That's number one. Number two, reorder your mind, the mind that you've been given. Reorder it. Do a systems analysis, to speak in programming terms. Do a systems analysis of your mind. See where you are leaking energy, where you are becoming more and more empowered. Reorder your mind. Take a look at the ideas and the thoughts that you've been given. Choose the thoughts that you want to have. And I would suggest that you start with having a more positive view of yourself, a more positive view of the world. No matter what we see, no matter what we read, remembering that there truly is a Buddha in everyone. There is a Christ in everyone. Remembering this. It's hard to see sometimes, isn't it? So reorder your mind, reorder your thinking. And number 30, gain control of your emotions. Your emotions can lead you down a very dark path, or they can lead you to the promised land. You know, there are times when I'm talking to students and in private conversations. One of the things that I tend to say is feeling schmealings. Where is that feeling going to be in 1 minute, 5 minutes? Last week I talked about 90 seconds, and a feeling of anger washes through your limbic system in 90 seconds. Are you going to choose after that 90 seconds to hold on to the feeling, or are you going to choose to let it go? It's your choice. After the 90 seconds, it's no longer running throughout your system unless you keep it there. And so to gain control of our emotions, we must gain control of our minds, right? Gain control of where we put our thinking, and always, always err on the side of compassion. Someone cuts you off in traffic. To err on the side of compassion would be to think, oh, gosh, maybe they have a wife who is about to give birth. Maybe they have a mother who is sick and needs to be taken to the hospital. Maybe their furry family member has collapsed and they need to be taken to the vet. Maybe their child is sick and needs to be attended to. Err on the side of compassion with your thinking. It's one of the saddest things to witness, and you can witness it everywhere, that when something happens to a loved one, there can be this thinking that is, oh, they were out to get me. Oh, they did it on purpose. Oh, when truly there is no way of knowing why another person did something, so that we can err on the side of compassion. We can think more compassionately about why that possibly happened. I have a dear friend, a loving, wonderful friend, who a few years ago in an interaction with me asked me to do something that I simply could not do. I knew psychically in my heart that it was not the right thing for me to do. And I let them know this. And I received, and this is someone I've known for many, many years, who I love dearly. I received a scathing text from them. Scathing. And even while I was reading it, I knew that the hurt that they had experienced quite recently of losing their partner, I knew that that was what was, it was that energy that they were holding, that they, not on purpose, no. It's pain. There is suffering, isn't there? Especially when you're not clear that there is no death. There is no death. We were here before. We are here now. The body will go, but we will move on. We will go on. Our love, our energy will go on. So while I was reading this, I knew. But I also knew that it was time to move on. Not in anger. I wished them well. Only love. So what's interesting, however, is that this morning I received another message from them. A very loving message that made me wonder if they even remembered their last words to me. So I asked, do you remember the last message you sent to me years ago? It was at least 3 or 4, 5 years maybe. It's been a while. Yeah, 3 or 4 years. So I haven't yet uh, checked to see their response, but my point is this: err on the side of compassion. Never take things personally. Always know that when someone directs their anger, their suffering, their hurt at you, it has nothing to do with you. No, nothing. And everything to do with what they are holding in their minds, what emotions they are holding in their bodies. And so, even when we don't know the story, like I knew the story of my dear friend, err on the side of compassion, err on the side of love, light, compassion. Always think positively. Do this mostly with yourself, and that's probably the hardest thing to do, to err on the side of compassion with all that you've ever done. Forgive yourselves. I've said this more than once on a webinar. Forgive yourselves. Always. Hold yourselves in love. Hold yourselves in light. So, the three things once again: build a shield between you and the descriptions of the world that you've been given. Build a buffer. 2, reorder your mind. Reorder the mind that you've been given. Do a systems analysis of your thinking, of your thoughts. Reorder them. Prioritize controlling what you think. Meditate. Actually, with all three of these, I would say first meditate, then build a shield. That's number one. Build a shield, a buffer between you and the descriptions of the world that you've been given. Number 2, reorder the thoughts in your mind. Do a systems analysis. Number 3, gain control of your emotions. And when you do get knocked down, it happens. What are you going to do? It happens. When you get knocked down, err on the side of compassion. Choose what emotion you're going to hold in your being, in your body, in your subtle physical body. Choose what emotion you're going to hang on to. And make the decision. Remember, 90 seconds or faster if you can, make the decisions to switch. It's just as easy to be happy as it is to be angry. It's just a matter of you choosing which one you want to hold on to. It's your choice. So, this is psychic self defense. Meditating to grow stronger, to gain power, so that you have the ability to create a buffer between you and the descriptions of the world, that you have the ability to reorder the thoughts in your mind, that you have the ability to control your emotions. Meditate. And we start very simply. For those of you who might be new to the practice of meditation, we start very simply by learning to focus. Meditation in the beginning is all about focus, focus, focus. We move on to intermediate and then advanced meditation, but for now, learn to focus. We focus on chakras, 7 or 8 of the primary chakras that we hold within our subtle physical bodies. Maybe a candle flame, a picture or statue of a deity that you connect with. Love, connect with love. Focus. To the exclusion of all else. Now, we have music on our meditations, and our music is infused with enlightened energy to help you. It was created for you, for this purpose, to help you to meditate more deeply, more simply, more easily, more clearly. You can focus on the music or the yantra that we hold on the screen while we meditate. Focus to the exclusion of all else. meditate. Happiness equals meditation. Meditation equals happiness. Before we begin to meditate, I'm going to take myself off camera so that we can relax the body. Take a deep cleansing breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and hold for the count of 3 at the top. Focus your attention on the muscles around your eyes and relax the muscles around your eyes. As you do, your facial muscles, your jaw muscles will also begin to relax. Relax your scalp. Release any tension you may have in your scalp. Relax your neck. Relax your throat. Relax your shoulders. Your upper arms. Your lower arms. Relax your hands and your fingers. Relax your chest. As you breathe in and out, relax your chest. Relax your abdomen. Release all of the muscles in your abdomen. Allow your lungs to be at capacity, breathing normally. Relax your back as you sit up as straight as is comfortable for you. Relax your hips, your upper legs, your lower legs. Relax your feet and your toes. Relax, relax, relax. In today's meditation, as we're focusing on psychic self-defense, we're going to focus to the exclusion of all else on the yantra that will be on the screen. We'll focus at the center of the yantra. The yantra is an ancient geometric design made to help your mind to calm, to slow down. And we focus on the center. The center of the yantra is called the bindu. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus very clearly on the center by gazing, not staring, but gazing at the center. Your eyes are relaxed. And what you will become aware of is the 4 doors that sit on the yantra. They are the 4 sides of the yantra, called the 4 doors. And what you will notice, without looking at them, you will become aware that they may begin to vibrate. So what you'll do is take your gaze out to the 4 doors, very slowly, very easily, and then bring your gaze back to the bindu, the center of the yantra. Do this several times to train your mind to relax, to calm down, learning to be silent. Then, after you have performed this for a few or more times, close your eyes and you will see the yantra. When you close your eyes, you'll see it, the negative of it, in your eyes as you close them. Notice this, become aware of it, and then move your attention to the music. Focus on the music, every note in the music, to the exclusion of all else. And after a few moments, let go. Let go and let eternity do with you what it will. And now, let's meditate. Thank you so much for being with us today and for wanting to learn more about empowerment and gaining more of a psychic ability for psychic self-defense. These are all wonderful things, wonderful attributes, so that you can see more clearly on a day-to-day basis what direction to go, what to choose, what not to choose. And to reiterate one more time, the 3 things to do are: number 1, to build a shield or a buffer between you and the descriptions of the outside world that you've been given. Number 2, reorder your mind. Do a systems analysis. Reorder your mind that you have been given. Choose your thinking. Choose your way of thinking, your thoughts. You decide what thoughts you'll have in your mind. And number 3, gain control of your emotions. All 3 of these things will have a big impact on your happiness, on your life, on your freedom. But before we say goodbye for the week, 10 things to do. Number 1. Well, before number 1, love yourself. Learn to love yourselves. Have compassion. Forgive yourselves. And then, love someone or something more than you love yourself. Number 2, take chances constantly. Number 3, stop taking yourselves so seriously. And number 4, start taking others more seriously. Number 5, never, ever, ever give up hope. Number 6, meditate more deeply today than you ever have. Number 7, learn to dance. Always a happy thing to do. Learn to dance. Number 8, feel the pain of the world and be happy anyway. Number 9, let go and let eternity do with you what it will. Number 10, look beyond all of this and know the truth. I'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you for being here. Namaste. The light in me sees, honors, and so loves the light in you. I'll see you soon.